you got introduced to Somaderm and U Life.
Yes.
How long has it been now? How many months? I mean,
wow. That's right. Well, my brother, Rico, through my wonderful business partners, Jody and Peter Hugenoff, introduced it to me in the later part of July of last year. And I started using it as soon as I got it. In fact, I squirted too much on myself when I first got it.
So you first put yourself out there as a guinea pig for your patients?
I sure did. I had to try it for myself. I wanted to see what kind of response I was going to get for myself. Because, testimonies are very powerful. And, not that I have to try every medication that I give my patients, and I really try to do low amounts of medications and more supplements, but we're all different, so I have to address people where they are. But for me, I'm 58, almost 58 years old. I've been in menopause since 47. I've been on bioidentical hormones since then, and so when I looked at what it was, I knew that I needed to try it for myself. And, of course, me being able to have my own personal testimony, I think that's something that says a lot.
And what did you notice after being on it before you started sharing it with your patients? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Sure. Wow. Okay. Well, like I said, at first I think I used too much because I was so excited. I used a lot of it, I have to admit. And I kind of almost had like an opposite effect because of that. But once I figured out how much I needed to use and the dosing that I needed to use, the frequency of, I should say the time, I kind of started off feeling, okay, this is a twice-a-day dosing, so okay, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening. But what happened to me was when I used it too late, that first couple nights, I would wake up, I woke up literally at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but like my eyes were like, bing, I had all this energy. I wanted to go and clean the garage or do something like that. I had so much energy. I'm like, no, this is not good. This is not the time for this. So I had to figure out what time I needed to use it for myself. So energy was one of the first things that I noticed. I no longer had that afternoon slump that everyone talks about. They say after lunchtime I just conk out. I just die after lunchtime, and I just have this slump in the middle of the afternoon. Not me. I had energy all day long and was able to get enough out of my system so that by the evening and night I was able to have great sleep. And I really didn't think I had a problem with sleep. But when I started having deep sleep, it was amazing that how I could wake up. It didn't matter what time I woke up. Whatever time my body needed to rest, I woke up, I felt rested. It wasn't that groggy, slurp yourself out of bed. It was tremendous amount of just get up and be energetic. Another thing I noticed was my joint discomfort in my left knee. I no longer had to use a brace on my left knee when I went to my Pilates class. So that was amazing. Just mental clarity was very enhanced. I have to be sharp. I'm speaking to my patients. I'm handling situations. I'm multitasking, and so that mental clarity was there. Belly fat started just going away. I'm very tuned into my body, and I know when I got more there than I should. And then sometimes it's just hard to explain to people when you just feel good. When you just say, I just feel good, and all I say, oh, I feel good too. No, you don't have my good. You need to have this kind of good. You need to try my good so you really know what good is. And Ken, literally at the 3-month mark, my hair, and I know we have to be compliant and everything, but I do know the difference between fullness and thickness and length. My hair grew. So at my 3-month mark, my hair was significantly longer to the point where my hairdresser even commented twice. And I had to let her know, yeah, this is the gel that I've been using. I've had family members that have had very similar types of testimonials as well, as far as just joint aches and pains being relieved, energy with and endurance when they exercise.
Hey, it's Dr. Imka, and today I'm going to go over how to apply the Somaderm HGH gel. I'm going to cover where you should put it, how much you should use, how often you should do it, to load or not to load, plus 2 extra biohacking tips that Alexi Goldstein, the developer, taught to me himself. Okay? So, step 1, we're trying to get it into the bloodstream. So we're using thin skin areas where you can see veins. So you can see this, you can see that you can see veins all along the inside of my wrists, inside my elbow, the back of my hands, very veiny. Tops of your feet, backs of your knees, these are also some typical places. Underarms are another location. Many of us have thinner skin the older we get, and there's veins all over the place. So I can do this on my calves, on varicose veins is a great location. We're not using the palm of our hands. We are not putting it in our mouth. We're not using the bottom of our feet. It's not about pores, it's about getting into the bloodstream. So we want permeable skin, okay? So we're going to talk about the pump size. There's various sizes that you can do with this. Because of the nature of the pump, you can make it be different sizes. We sometimes say things like pea size, blueberry size, strawberry size. Often we're going to talk about pea and blueberry. Most distributors are going to say, do a small pea size, do 2 small peas, do a blueberry, do 2 blueberries. Okay, but I'm going to show you some of those sizes right now. There's something about loading or not loading. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Typically, you're going to do this 2 to 3 times a day, what I'm about to do. You want to do it really every 4 to 6 hours. So often, to get maximum results, we're looking at 3 times a day, every 4 to 6 hours. 6 a.m., noon, 4 p.m. That's 3 times a day that you're going to spread your dose out. Okay, so let's see if I can get the camera. Okay, so I'm going to call that about a pea size. I'm going to call that, maybe a blueberry, right? It's a big difference, that pea and that blueberry. So some people will be doing a small pea, medium-sized pea. You're going to have to get a gauge. This is a pretty big dose, and I'm okay with that. Now I scratched it to increase the absorption. So this is what you do. You rub it in. It's a real application. I'm really doing it. It's going to take a few minutes, you guys. This takes 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to keep talking as I do it, and I rotate to the back of my hands, and I keep going. In the instructions, it says to rotate locations. Why? I asked him. It was the one thing I didn't understand, and he told me, you actually don't have to. Why we suggest rotating locations is because the hormones in it burn off in about 30 minutes or so. They get metabolized really quickly. So you want to have even distribution all over the body, so you have this strong amount of hormone hitting different locations. So, in general though, if you have an injury, you want to apply it near that injury. So if you have bad knees, put it behind your knees all the time. If you've got a shoulder injury, put it on the back of the hand, get it in the armpit. All the time, in the underarm. So people with hand pain, get it on the back of the hands and on this wrist. So it's that hormone very actively is going right to that area. So wherever you put it, that area right there, the hormones are stronger in that area. So a lot of people with varicose veins or leg pain or feet pain go down to that part of the body. So you don't need to worry if you're consistently kind of using the same location. Just know if you're always applying here and you have some primary problems at your feet, you might want to try and get down there and get that on the tops of your feet and on the veins. You can put it directly on varicose veins after trying to get it into the bloodstream, so the HGH gets in right in there. To load or not to load. So there's a lot of advice that in the beginning, the first 30, 60, 90 days, you should load. That's how I was taught. But I found in clinical practice, it is best for most people to not load. I did load. I'd use very high amounts, and I went through my bottle very quickly. I find most women are not capable of loading. I think most people are better off to start much smaller, start with a pea size, do that 2, maybe 3.
I'm Dr. Dave Carpenter, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about why I like the Somaderm HGH gel. Somaderm gel is basically a transdermal way of increasing the body's own production, let's say, of human growth hormone. It's a homeopathic preparation, and a homeopathic is simply something that naturally helps your body adjust to whatever it needs to do. If it's working with an immune problem, it will help the immune system. If it's working with a rash on the skin, it will help the rash. And in this case, it's designed to help your body make more human growth hormone. Now, why is human growth hormone so important? Well, as we mentioned, it's the dropping off of it that causes most of the symptoms of aging. There's been many, many studies done showing that, for example, older people who have developed something called osteoporosis or bone loss is basically being reversed by just increasing their human growth hormone levels for a period of time. A great study was done at the University Hospital in Sweden on that very subject. And you can look that up if you'd like to. Certainly very interesting, but the participants saw a massive increase in bone density as a result of taking human growth hormone. Is simply a homeopathic formula containing a micro amount of somatropin, which is human growth hormone. It's the same exact hormone that's used in the injections that you often hear about. Those injections that people are doing twice a day to heal faster from accidents, to stay younger, to build muscle, to burn fat and break down fat in the body, and so on. As you take human growth hormone and, or in this case, the Somaderm gel, and you enhance your body's production of it, your body is regulating how much you are making, so it will, over time, optimize that amount, meaning that your body will start to function at a much higher level. Your eyes will work better, your ears will work better, your heart will work better, according to the researchers. You'll be able to see the wrinkles start going from your skin. You'll start noticing your hair getting thicker. Somaderm gel is that it's much easier for your body to use it, for you to put it on. You put it on the thin skin areas of your body, like, for example, your wrist. You put it on the inside of the wrist. You rub your wrist together for about a minute. It absorbs, and you go about your day. And you do it twice a day, 5 days on, 2 days off. What happens is it absorbs very quickly, and that's the end of it. I put mine right next to my toothbrush, and that way I just put it on after I brush my teeth, and I'm good to go. About the gel is it's cost effective. You don't have to have doctors monitoring your blood every 90 days because your body is doing the regulating just like it was designed by God to do. Your body is taking this wonderful solution in and directly into the bloodstream and utilizing it to make more human growth hormone. In addition, the Somaderm gel has 2 other homeopathic preparations. One is for the thyroid, to support the thyroid gland, and the other one is for the adrenal gland. And those 2 glands, along with the pituitary gland, are key players in your whole hormonal structure. So hormones play a very important role. A lot of people don't realize that insulin is a hormone. They don't realize that melatonin and serotonin are hormones. These are hormones that happen to influence your sleep cycle. But let me ask you this. Do you sleep as good as you did when you were a kid? If you don't, it's probably because you have a hormonal imbalance. And if that's the case, going to the top of the food chain, going to the master hormone of the body and getting your body to make more of it should really, really help. So thanks for listening. I hope this has been helpful in helping you understand better why you could benefit from using Somaderm HGH gel. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alex Martin, coming to you from Hollywood. Today I would like to discuss human growth hormone and the question of, does it really work? Many of you have expressed an interest in human growth hormone and have contacted me asking me, is it something that will really help me? The answer is yes. We know that at every age and for every person, human growth hormone has an effect. We see it often being used in our children, a very short stature. These are children that are below the 50th percentile on the growth curve. They do need human growth hormone, and once it's applied, it does work. They grow taller. We know that our young adults who have muscle injuries or who have concerns about muscle development, when given human growth hormone, the injuries heal in 50% of the time that it normally takes muscles to heal. Our middle-aged individuals, 40 to 60, these individuals also benefit from human growth hormone because by age 40, 80% of our native production of human growth hormone is gone. By 50, it's all dissipated. So what we need to do is to look at how human growth hormone affects each group. Lastly, not to ignore our seniors, individuals over 60 are able to use human growth hormone to maintain their independence. They do not have to have caregivers, and they can delay the complications of the aging process by as much as 10 to 15 years, maybe 20 years. So the answer to the question, does human growth hormone work? Yes, it does. It affects every system of our body. It affects the brain, it affects the heart, the muscles, all of our bones, and all of the different systems of the body. This has been well documented, and the studies are ongoing now to show continued benefits of individuals using human growth hormone over the last 10 to 20 years. So if you have further questions about what human growth hormone can do for you, don't hesitate to contact us. My name is Dr. Alex Martin, and I would welcome you to come and see us in Hollywood for your complimentary consultation. Thank you.
Square here is something called our pituitary gland. The front of the pituitary gland is the anterior pituitary gland that releases human growth hormone. But it's not the human growth hormone that does all the work. Human growth hormone then goes to our liver, and from our liver, it releases something called IGF-1, which stands for insulin-like growth factor 1. And you can see from this slide, no need to see where it's going, just look at in the green box, you see insulin-like growth factor 1, and all the different places that it affects, all the different organs that it has a role in. It helps the brain. It protects the heart. It builds muscle, builds bones, helps with ovarian and testicular function. It helps growth and repair, protects the kidneys, and then helps the immune system. This slide is one that I love showing to all my patients because it tells them when you see in the brochures and when you read about HGH and Somaderm, and my goodness, look at all, is it too good to be true? There's no question in my mind that it's not too good to be true. This is just IGF's job, and this illustrates it. For some reason, this growth hormone in our system peaks at age 20, 25, usually out of our system. The anterior pituitary stops making growth hormone roughly by the time we're 30, and then the dreaded aging process starts at that point. But just because the anterior pituitary stops making it doesn't mean that it's gone. That there's still, it can still make growth hormone. It's just programmed not to. But can we turn it back on? Of course we can, and that's called hormone signaling. So a quick difference between hormone replacement and hormone signaling is I'm on testosterone. My body no longer makes as much testosterone as I need. So therefore I need to replace my testosterone. With Somaderm and HGH in the gel is we're getting just enough absorbed through the skin to light the burner called our anterior pituitary to release growth hormone. It's signaling the anterior pituitary to wake up and release more growth hormone, which releases IGF, which then does all of these wonderful, amazing things in many different areas of our body. So yes, you're going to sleep better. Yes, your muscle's going to grow. Your fat's going to go down. It takes time. Everybody has to understand that this takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. You may notice an increase, a better sleep, but really 4, 6, 8 weeks down the road is a really good time frame to know when you're going to start seeing the first couple of benefits. But then it's a cumulative effect, and it keeps going through the months, and that's well explained in all the websites and the literature. We cannot turn this back on. You're not going to see results overnight. It takes time. Patients have to understand that.
How many patients do you have on the product?
In my practice, I have close to 200 right now. But I also have about 8.
All of them?
Yeah, well, I have 8,000 patients but I need to, the only reason I'm at 200 is because I can only see so many in a week. Because once I tell them what my own personal experience and my medical advice, then they get on it. And now, pretty soon I changed my website to get a blast email to everybody because I don't want patient number 7,000 to find out about this 6 months from now if I'm seeing them in a 6-month visit. So it's really something that I just need to get the word out to all my patients because they're all feeling great on it. That's for sure. I haven't had, and again, I was expecting somebody to have a side effect or some problem with it. And I have actually found none so far. But then you deal with it just like anything else. But the side effects are less because it's not a drug. I'm not giving a mega dose of something that comes with side effects. It's very hard for our body to produce something that's going to give us side effects because our body's in charge of it. Our anterior pituitary is basically making the growth hormone that's causing the IGF to be released. So,
hello, everybody. Today, I'm joined with my friend Stephanie from Pennsylvania, who's going to be sharing her personal experience with using the gel with us. And before we get started, I'd like to make it clear that this is a personal testimonial. Results may vary from person to person. And if you have any medical questions or medical concerns, please always consult with your licensed healthcare provider before starting any product. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Very well. Thank you. My pleasure. So let's get started. So Stephanie, how long have you been using the gel?
I am actually coming up on my 1-year anniversary, July 2nd. It'll actually be 1 year.
Nice.
Since I've started. Yeah.
Very cool.
Can't believe it's been a year already.
And when you first heard about the gel, what was it that caught your interest to want to give it a try personally?
When I first heard about it, the person who introduced it to me added me to a Facebook testimonial group. And I was first impressed with, at the time, it was 100,000 women in this group. Now it's up to 200,000. And so I was reading their testimonies on how this product was helping them, all different ways. And as soon as I saw that, I knew I had to try it because I'm all about anything anti-aging, healthy aging, prevention. I just needed to try it.
Awesome. So now, once you decided to give it a try, were you dealing with any health issues, health conditions prior to using the gel? And if so, if you don't mind sharing, what were they?
Sure. First, one of the things I noticed was ever since I was a teenager, I had a dance injury and injured my left knee. So as I got older, I'm in my 40s now. I always have chronic pain in that left knee. It sounds crunchy when I go up and down the steps. It's achy, it gets stiff. And since using the gel, that's all gone away. I don't have any pain anymore. So that was crazy. I was also interested when I heard there was thyroid support in this gel, not just the HGH, because I did have some thyroid issues. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that this has cured it or done anything. My levels are normal now, though. And so once I knew that it supported the thyroid, it could actually help it. That was something else that really piqued my interest. So I wanted to give it a try.
Awesome. So now you already touched on a couple of things, but once you initially started using the gel, what were some of the what were some of the first benefits that you started noticing?
The very first one, first of all, I was told you might not even feel anything for a couple of weeks. Everybody's different. So I didn't expect anything for the first bottle, really. But within a week, only a few days in, the first thing I noticed was I was sleeping through the night like a baby. And I never sleep through the night. I get up at least once or twice a night. I never remember my dreams because I'm not entering enough REM sleep. And I was sleeping through the night like a baby and having these crazy, wicked, vivid dreams that I could remember after I woke up. And I'm like, this is amazing. So just that alone, I was feeling very refreshed. That was the very first thing I noticed.
Awesome. And now that you've been almost using it for a year, so as the weeks and then months went by, were the benefits, stacking on, on top of each other? You saw additional benefits that you didn't experience in the early, aspect of you using the gel. Like, how did that work for you?
Yeah, for sure. After the great sleep, the next thing I noticed was increased stamina and energy at the gym. I remember the first day, this was maybe 2 months in, I actually looked down at my dumbbell because I thought I grabbed a lighter weight than what I usually use, and it was just no. I was able to do it. Like, so increased strength, muscle tone was much better. My skin started to get smoother everywhere. My hair was getting thicker. Oh my gosh, it kept getting better. Mood elevation, which was crazy. It's hard to explain. It was just an overall sense of well-being, great moods. And HGH really is like the master hormone that just helps keeps us young. And I just feel like slowly as this compounds over time, I'm just reversing the clock more and more. When I look at pictures from last year and 2 years ago, it's so rewarding to see like, wow, I look younger and look better now than I did in the past. So that's wonderful.
Awesome. And now that you've had such a great personal experience with it and you're very familiar with the actual product, who would you recommend this to?
Oh, good question. Anybody 30 and over, for sure, because we're losing our HGH production as early as our mid-20s already, and it really starts to plummet. If you ever look at the graphs of how we lose HGH as we age, it's almost like a cliff. It just plummets once we hit 30 and nearly in the 40s. So anyone over 40, anyone that's into health and wellness and just wants to feel better. And what I love is that since it's homeopathic, it can't hurt you. It can only help you. So nobody has anything to lose by trying this. They have so much to gain.
You know, I just think the important thing is to understand with this product, with Somaderm, that this is not therapeutic dosing. It's homeopathic microdosing. And we have many, many benefits. I can tell you in 15 years of prescribing therapeutic dosing and getting to fairly high blood levels, safe blood levels that people were at in their, let's say, teens and early 20s, and maintain them there, that, you know, I see people say, well, I want to talk to my doctor. So, well, that's great. You may or may not be any more aware of this than you. You know, the wives' tales are out there. Well, this growth hormone I heard that it causes cancer. Well, I can tell you there's not one published study that shows in the medical literature that shows that human growth hormone causes cancer. On the converse side of that, flip side is that there are studies in the anti-aging world that showing optimal hormone levels, including growth hormone, suppress inflammation, can suppress cancer risk, stroke risk, heart attack risk across the board, improves lipid function, lipid metabolism with hormone optimization, glucose metabolism, many things. And so I have never seen that. Would we give it to someone that has cancer? Absolutely not. It can increase mitosis or cell division turnover, and that's a given. So why risk it? You know, the market is massive. There are millions of people that just want to feel better, that need the health benefits that this product can give. And so I just say that's where you should focus your attention. If someone's not sure, certainly recommend that they talk to their doctor. He may or may not be knowledgeable on it. There's certainly plenty of information out there to be able to support using it and certainly in a homeopathic dose. And I can tell you 15 years of prescribing it to my patients across the board, I have never seen someone develop cancer.
I feel the best I have in 10 years. I love this gel.
My workouts are over the top. I'm telling you, the energy I have from this gel is awesome.
And I've been sleeping better and feeling better since I got on the gel.
I never thought I'd be able to grow out my own nails. And thanks to the gel, after 3 weeks, these babies are all mine.
I now have range of motion in my shoulder, which I haven't had for years. I love this gel.
Sleeping till 7, 8 in the morning, unheard of. Vivid dreams every night. Got them. And the husband's mood way up. You gotta love this gel.
I am loving the gel. Tons of sleep, tons of energy. It's awesome.
My recovery time after working out is incredible. At 56, I haven't felt this way since I was in my 30s.
I'm sleeping better than I ever have. I love the gel.
Energy through the roof. Love my gel.
I don't have restless leg syndrome anymore thanks to the gel. And
I think I'm sleeping better, so this gel is awesome.
Faster workout recovery, increased muscle mass. Man, I love this gel.
Sleeping well with the gel.
I'm getting the best sleep and have tons of energy, all because of this gel.
Don't need the coffee anymore. I love this gel.
More energy, better sleep, love the gel.
What I find most amazing to me is my libido went up. First time in 25 years. I love this gel. Won't be without it.
Losing weight, sleeping better, more energy, love the gel.
Man, plenty of energy. Sleep is amazing. I love this gel.
Already noticing the edge in the gym? Love the gel.
I've been on the gel for 2 weeks and even my husband looks better.
He brings to the table 2 medical specialties, including a degree in homeopathic medicine. In fact, he studied in Greece and Belgium under the #1 homeopathic physician in the world. He's smart as a whip and quickly understood that this product was a winner. So Scott Stansfield, good evening. Please come out and tell our audience why you're here with New U Life and what you know for sure about our Somaderm product. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. The basic reason I'm here is I would be incredibly foolish not to be. No, I have a wonderful background in this industry, as Jeannie says. It's been very good. Now, if you're hearing about HGH for the first time, that's a wonderful thing. It will probably very shortly become one of your favorite subjects. The nice thing about HGH is it's not new. It's been around since actually the 20s. They started using it on human beings in the late 50s. It started being used continuously in the 60s. There are 30,000 plus peer-reviewed medical studies on HGH. National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health, PubMed.gov, Center for Disease Control, Harvard, Wharton, Cornell, whatever your UCLA, whatever your medical school is, not only within this country but all over the world, HGH has been studied. It's the only transdermal. What does that mean? It means it goes on right through the skin, put it in the thin area of your skin. It's the only transdermal FDA-registered human growth hormone product available without a prescription. But let me tell you something. It's appealing to the A-listers, to the celebrities in Hollywood, celebrities like Tom Cruise, who heading toward his mid-60s looks 20 years younger than his co-star, who in fact is 20 years younger than he is. So the celebrities and the A-listers, the athletes, they've known about this a long time. They're willing to pay that price. For the average individual, probably not worth it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, what's option B if you don't want to poke yourself with a needle? Well, option B is you take a pill. That sounds a lot simpler, and the truth of the matter is it is. Now, the pill is also very, very expensive, not as expensive as the injections, but very, very pricey. Now, the problem with a pill is both the pill and the injections have side effects. A homeopathic remedy never has a side effect. So you don't need to worry about side effects. You don't need to worry about if it's going to get in the way of something else. And I want you to know the product we're talking about tonight is not new. It's been around 14 and a half years. He first put it together for athletes, for powerlifters, for MMA, martial arts superstars, and then it started spreading. It went to the skincare clinics. It went to the plastic surgery. It went absolutely nuts. And it went nuts for about 14 and a half years. So we don't need to figure out if this works. It's got a huge, huge history behind it. And we get to benefit from it for the very first time in a form that does not require a prescription, that does not require injections or pills. You take a little drop the size of a pea, you put it on once in the morning, once at night, rub it on your inner arm and your wrist and watch what happens. Well, here's what most people experience in just the first month. They've got improved stamina. The energy level goes off the charts. Your sleeping goes absolutely nuts. You've got vivid dreams. Starting about the second month, the muscle definition starts to improve. Now, these can change orders depending on the individual. Heightened libido, we all know what that means. We don't need purple pills, perhaps. Skin gets healthier. Strength gets much increase in strength. You start to get weight loss. You get that little roll around the center of your belly there that no matter how many crunches or exercise you do, you just can't seem to get rid of that little roll. That starts to go away. About month 3, hair starts growing back in many, many cases. Definitely enhanced muscle mass, greater flexibility. You've got joint mobility. Menopausal symptoms start coming down the road by the time you get down to month 5. You're starting to get significant weight loss in many cases. Skin texture and appearance, it's got greater elasticity. Wrinkles start to go away. Hair becomes thicker and healthy. And it just builds. It builds and builds and builds. And if you don't believe in HGH, it's okay. If you don't understand it, it's okay. If you don't know how it works, it's okay. Because it's going to work with or without your permission, whether you understand it or not. Whether you understand the ingredients in the bottle, it makes no difference. If you put it in your system, it will work, period. End of story. I'm excited to be a part of this, very excited to have access to this product. Just that alone gets me excited.